Dave Palumbo here with an RX Muscle news update. I received this photo from an anonymous source on the internet, and it appears to be the first competition that Big Ramy ever competed at. Now, we all thought that he had started competing I think he said he had started competing like 3 years prior to his 2013 New York Pro victory. That was at least what I was told. I remember the story at the time. I think he was 29 years old in 2013, and I think he had started in 2010. They said he had only been training 3 years. This photo, if it is indeed Big Ramy, which it looks like it is, although it's more like a medium-sized Ramy here, is supposedly from his first competition in 2005, actually, which would have made him about 21 years old, according to my calculations, if that's correct. This would be potentially, once again, the first time Ramy stepped onto a bodybuilding stage. He had some muscle on him. You could tell that there was you could see the beginning of like something, potentially there. I don't think I could ever have predicted that he would be as big as he would be looking at this picture, but he had good legs, you could tell. The quads were there and the upper body was kind of there. Obviously wasn't in the best shape, this was, like I said, his first effort on stage. But it's interesting that the story, is different than what we believed it was. So if Ramy stepped on stage here in 2005, theoretically, maybe, he started training a couple years before that. So theoretically, the whole timeline could be about 10 years off of what we were originally told. So we were originally told he started training in 2010, and then his New York Pro victory was in 13, which sounded unbelievable almost to have that much muscle in the 3-year span. It seems much more reasonable that he started in reality in 2000, got on stage for the first time in 2005 maybe, or even started in 2002 and 2003 and got on stage in 2005 at 21 years old, and then continued to train, obviously, and maybe didn't compete again until maybe 2010, till he put on the size that he wanted to. But that seems like a more reasonable story, because now you can kind of see the progress, that he had been training all along and putting size on it. It seems a little more reasonable to me to believe that, after, that many years that he could be as big as he was, as opposed to the original timeline that basically had him putting on, 200 or 300 pounds of muscle in a 3-year time period, which is almost, it was almost unbelievable. But you know what? Ramy's an unbelievable looking, specimen. And I mean, anything is possible with him. The picture is interesting. I'll tell you why, because if you look all the way to the right, there's an eerie, almost like off to the side, you see this image of a person kind of watching the show. And if you really take a good look, it almost looks, I think it looks exactly like him, like Nasser El Sonbaty. Is it him? I don't know. Only the person who took the picture would actually know if Nasser was actually there or not at Big Ramy's first show. But it does seem to look like him. The guy has glasses. It's definitely Nasser's profile for sure, but it doesn't mean it's him. It could just be someone who looked like him. But it would be ironic, right, if Nasser was at Big Ramy's show, And remember, Nasser was from Egypt. He could have been, guest posing there, or he could have been, home visiting or something like that. There is a possibility that he was at Ramy's show. Oh yes, I never thought that Ramy would be would be as big as he was, but I did see the potential on the stage over there at him, and. Yes, I was at Ramy's Big Ramy's first show. He was Little Ramy then. I used to call him Little Ramy. I did not know that they would change his name when he became a pro. But yes, now here he is, Big Ramy. So I love finding pictures of people when they first competed. I dug up stuff from my first competition, and I was horrified when I looked at the pictures at how skinny I looked on stage. Ramy actually's got some size on him. He's not the Ramy we know, obviously, today, but you can certainly see the potential there. And it is always nice to find these old pictures floating around the internet. And it's funny because people probably have pictures of me that I don't even know exist, and I'm sure Ramy, he may know this this photo exists or not, I don't even know. And once again, I don't even know if it is Ramy, but someone told me it is Ramy. It looks just like him. So we're putting it up here, and you guys make the decision. Is that Big Ramy? Was that really his first show back in 2005? Is that Nasser El Sonbaty off to the side? Let us know in the comments below. I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle News Update.